So during the winter break for F1, where everyone's just completely depressed and looking for anything related to F1 to get their mitts on, I decided that I'd go back and play some of the old F1 games to get my head in the game again for the first race. Now, I do this every single year where I'm finished after Abu Dhabi. I won't have anything F1 pop up in my feed for a while, I'll just sort of forget about it. And then towards the livery getting revealed and the cars getting revealed, I'll tend to hop back on the F1 games and play through a few seasons.
What has happened? Window licking spastic.
And this year specifically really got me thinking about how bad the digital marketing space is to do with F1 specifically. And it relates to other games, but I notice it mostly with racing games, and in most recent years, EA's version of the F1 games and what EA is itself done to the Formula 1 franchise. Also, quick one, don't know if you noticed, but this is the first video I've recorded for this YouTube channel. So if you do enjoy this sort of stuff, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as it means a lot trying to get this channel's ball rolling as fast as possible. So yeah, back to the video. F1 2020 is my favourite Formula 1 game, and if you also have the same opinion as me, as F1 2020 is your favourite game, yet you have a new Steam account, or you got rid of it a few years ago, or you've got a PC for the first time, you did have it on console, now you want it on PC, you can't get it. You just can't get it. The only games you can get are the games after EA bought the license to Formula 1 from Codemasters.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Now, the same thing happens with a lot of racing games, but most of the time it is because of licensing issues. Usually it's because of music in the soundtracks, or because the license for certain car manufacturers has ran out. For example, Toyota not wanting to be in a lot of games now. Sometimes Porsche as well. But for F1, it didn't really make a lot of sense, apart from the fact that some older teams might not want to be involved anymore. Most teams that were in it a few years ago are still in it today. Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren, not Renault, but Alpine. They're still in the sport, and even if they're under the alias of Renault, I'm sure they wouldn't mind. So it's really annoying that when EA bought the license from F1, it just so happened that coincided with every single F1 game that has ever been sold being taken down from Steam. Minecraft? What's Minecraft doing there?
The lights go out and away we go, kayaking, Karuk.
So now, if you want to play an F1 game and search it up on Steam, the only games that come up are, in my opinion, the worst of the lot that are in 2014 and 15, which is 22, 23, and 24. Oh my god, I have literally just checked the Steam store to see what games are available. You can't even buy F1 22 anymore. Like, yeah, the game's bad, but the game came out 2 years ago. What?
EA, you have sunk to a new low. You done f***ed it up, EA. This is some right here, Joe. Joe, you gotta come over here and look at this.
But I think it's important to look at this. So, if you go
I saw this joke earlier.
Something else I just noticed, I don't know if this is a Steam thing or if this is an EA thing, but why would I go to game all top sellers? It shows F1 25, which isn't even out yet. How can it be a top seller? What? So if you want to play the 2022 season or back now, you can't. Not unless you have 3 things. 1, the game already. 2, a lot of money to spend on keys on CD key websites, which for a lot of people are considered immoral or in some way scandalous because they think people are stealing them, which are also 9 times out of 10 just completely out of stock. Like, over half the results on this page are just don't know when they're going to be back in stock, currently out of stock, so you're just not getting your hands on them at all in that case. Or 3, to set sail to the 7 seas yourself and get them through pirating. The problem I have with EA right now is the fact that these people who want to get games legitimately have to resort to exterior motives to get them. If you're, say if you're like a 12-year-old and you have no idea about pirating, you've just come from PlayStation and Xbox and you hop onto PC for the first time and your first thought is, I really want to get these games. You search them up on Steam, nothing comes up. What are you going to do? You have no idea how CD key websites work, like G2A, like cdkeys.com, like Kingwin, nothing like that. So as far as you're concerned, these games no longer exist and you can't get them anymore. And for the people who figure it out, they might see it as an immoral way of getting the games. If you don't want to pirate the games or buy from these CD key websites, which you may think are dodgy, you literally can't get the games. It's the same thing I say with Nintendo all the time. I don't want to pirate F1 2016. I can't buy the game, so how else am I supposed to play it? You don't give any other options, so you're in no position to complain when people start going out of their way to pirate these old games. You can't say, oh wow, this is our intellectual rights, we own this property now, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, if you don't give us any other choice, what else are we going to do? There's a Reddit page, which I'm not going to disclose and I'm not going to give a link to because it does distribute pirated software, but I've had to resort to using that because any game before, now even F1 22 is not available, so any game before F1 23 is not available to purchase legally anymore. So the only way for you to play any of these games is to pirate them. Yes, these CD key websites do exist, but try looking for a game like F1 2016 at a reasonable price and you can't find it. Even if I want to go back and own F1 2020 on something else, I've owned the game and I've got over 700 hours on the game. Yet if I want to play it another way, I'm not going to buy it for like £100, so I'm going to have to pirate it.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
Yes.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
Yes.
And EA is doing this themselves because I know many franchises that whilst, yes, they don't have the rights anymore to actually distribute the software, they can still sell it, and then years later, if they do take it down, they can bring out a remastered version. A perfect example of this is GTA 4, which, to get around it, Rockstar just took out the music, whilst, yes, that is a problem that they're getting rid of music in these games as opposed to just leaving them in. Licensing issues are a thing, so I can see that, oh, they only bought the license for 10, 15 years, it's run out. That's fair enough, but they didn't just get rid of the game or make it unavailable for people to play. They just got rid of the song, so that's one way around it. I'd rather that than them just completely deleting the game. Now, another one relates to racing games in general as of recent, especially more online racing games. You can see in the last year and a half to 2 years, two of the most major online free roam racing games have shut down in Forza Horizon 4 and the original Crew from 2014. These were two of my most played open online free roam racing games, and now you can't play them at all. Unless I'm assuming you own Forza Horizon 4 already, which is fair enough. I got the Game Pass for it. I was stupid, I didn't buy it. So that means that I have no way of accessing it at all now, unless once again, I pirate it. Now that's one thing. The Crew is an entirely separate can of worms, as you can actually go back and pirate things like the old F1 games. You can go back and pirate Forza Horizon 4 if you really like. The Crew, the original one, and this is the reason why Ubisoft probably did it, you can't access the Crew at all. Ubisoft just made it unavailable for every single person. They didn't work on an offline patch for the game so that if you own it and bought DLC very recently again, like I decided to do when I went back and revisited the game, you can no longer access it at all in any form. If you go to the page where you can access it on Uplay or wherever they call it now, Ubisoft Launcher, it literally just says your game isn't available anymore, which is... it should be illegal. Honestly, it should be illegal. You no longer have access to this game. Why not check out the store to pursue your adventures? No, Ubisoft. This is shit. I can't believe this is legal.
You are wasting valuable space on our majestic shoreline, and what do we get out of it from you? 10 miserable games a year, including 2 preseason games that I have to pay for, and 1 shitty Kenny Chesney concert. Do you understand that it is actually statistically harder for a team to be this consistently bad than it is for them to occasionally accidentally be good?
Now this relates back to EA because you can't buy these games anymore, and whilst yes, you can still access them because they're offline only, they're ruining the landscape just because they didn't own the franchise at the time that these old games were made, and it comes off as super childish. Maybe it's because these old games were actually good, and oh, to get them to play the new games, we need to delist the old games, otherwise they'll just play them instead. Maybe it's because they didn't have enough microtransactions, and oh, we need F1 Live because we need to be able to sell people an apartment and sunglasses and a nice t-shirt. This not only ruins it for the most modern audience that have been into F1, but they're also not holding up their end of the bargain when it comes to the F1 games themselves. Like, they're, you know, fair enough in a way if they got rid of F1 22, but then 23 and 24 were leagues better than everything that came before it, but they're not. Like, don't get me wrong. I enjoy F1 23. I've got almost 400, I think, 500 hours in the game, so I wouldn't have that many hours in the game if I didn't enjoy it, right? So I clearly enjoy it. My problem is games like F1 2020 are just better than F1 23 and 24. Because F1 23 is fun, but it has a hell of a lot of problems, and it is nowhere near the best F1 game. I'd honestly argue it's probably like the 4th or 5th best F1 game. Now, if I said to my friend, wow, you should really try and pick up F1 2020 or F1 2013 or F1 2019 or whatever, he can't. He is literally forced to play this year's game, which is mediocre at best, and it's, if anything, it's just a slightly worse version of F1 23. And then F1 23, which whilst in itself is quite a decent game and does have aspects that are great about it, is lacking in not only content, but also what actual players wanted from a game. Those are your options. And other than that, that is it. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 officially licensed F1 games that you can buy and play. Bear in mind, in the last 15, 16 years, there's probably been about 21 games released in total. It just shows me how bad digital gaming has got. Because if you went to a storefront, okay, let's just picture this in your head, right? So if you know like a GameStop or a CEX or a game or whatever, and you imagine that the left side is for digital players. You can walk in and you can buy a digital game like you do in Steam. And on the right side are physical users who can buy physical games, whether, you know, they're used or they're new, just whatever, whenever you walk into a shop now, whatever you see on the shelves. Do you really think that digital gamers will think it's fair? Then when they walk into this game shop, they look to the left and they see a whole 4 F1 games to purchase. Yet this person right next to him, their friend, who plays on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, he looks to his right and he sees 15, 16 different games that he can play. But not only that, a lot of them are really, really cheap and always on offer because of used sales. I could get, and I've actually done this by the way, I did it for my dad, I could get F1 2012, F1 2013, I could have got F1 2016, 17, 18, 19 for under £20. Now, F1 24, which is basically just F1 23 with different skins on the cars and a slight addition to the story mode, is £60 or 80 if you want to get the Champions Edition. The game's been out a year, and they're still charging 60. I still haven't bought it, and I won't buy it. It's not worth the money. So for them to have that little amount of games, but also sell them for that much money, is extortionate. And that's the bigger problem I've always had with digital gaming. But as of recent, it's got way worse because at least back when I first started on PC gaming, they weren't as bad with this. Like, yes, there were games that they delist, but they're like 20 years old. But gaming companies nowadays are delisting stuff that's not even 3 years old. F1 22 is turning 3 this year. It's not even 3 years old yet, and they're already delisting it. EA own the intellectual property rights for F1 22, and they've already got rid of it. Yeah, maybe because of bad sales, but if a game's shit, it shouldn't stop people from being able to buy it. Some people may look back in 10 or 15 years from now and say F1 22 was my childhood. I wish I could play it, and it's just not available on any storefront ever unless you go out of your way to set sail, which is illegal, and people don't want to have to resort to downloading games illegally just to be able to relive childhood memories. As of recent, I've been getting into emulators and stuff, and while emulators are sort of similar to pirating, it's because of things like lost media why we can't actually play stuff, but also games like Skate 2 and Skate 3, they're not on PC, so I understand why people might get iffy about other games that are also on PC and you pirating them. But when it comes to emulators, I literally can't play Skate 2 and Skate 3 if I wanted to, and I've already bought them, so that makes sense, so people can do that. But when it comes to digital games that aren't even 4 years old and they're already delisting them, it seems inherently immoral that you can get away with that. And it doesn't even relate to F1, it relates to thousands and thousands of games that you just can't buy anymore. And more to do with racing games, I've noticed. Codemasters store looks drab. Can't buy any of the Dirt games up until Dirt 4 now. None of the F1 games up until F1 23. They have such a massive library. You can't even buy the original grid. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my days. Their library is absolutely crazy good. But you look at it on the Steam store, and they look like a subpar company because of the games they've been releasing and then stopping you from playing their actual good games. So yeah, In conclusion, I just think it's extremely disappointing how digital gaming is going these days, and companies like EA are really setting the fire alight for other companies to do the same thing. And EA's not been a good company for quite a while, but it's when it affects things that I truly enjoy and things that I really wish that I could go back and play, and I just can't now, that it really annoys me to the point of actually doing these type of videos. I hope you did actually enjoy. As I said before, it is my first video on this channel. I haven't really seen anybody make a video about this topic, which is why I thought it was actually pretty interesting to make it as my first video. I don't know if people are just numb to the idea of these type of games, like people who play FIFA every year, people who play Call of Duty every year, the landscape around gaming and those people who play those games every single year and just consume kind of annoy me. So it's nice for me to be able to actually make a video on it, because I haven't seen anybody else make a video on it. If you have enjoyed, make sure to sub, like, and all that YouTube nonsense, and I will see you in the next video, guys. This has been Frosty, and I don't have an outro.